They came silently, as advanced civilizations often do. No flags, no warnings, just the cold precision of observation. The Zanari were not conquerors by nature, but catalogers. They mapped species, classified intelligences, and moved on. Their ships drifted through the cosmos like thoughts in a vast mind, connected by telepathic resonance, speaking without mouths, deciding without debate. When they reached Sol, they expected nothing more than another primitive world. Carbon-based life, chaotic governance, limited technology. Just another entry in their ever-growing database. Earth was noisy, not just in sound, but in emotion. From orbit, the Zanari could feel it. Waves of fear, anger, hope, desperation. It bled into the air, into the minds of individuals who seemed incapable of uniform thought. That alone was strange. Most intelligent species developed cohesion over time. Humans had not. They fractured, splintered, contradicted themselves endlessly. One moment offering peace, the next preparing war. One leader preaching unity, another inciting division. It made no sense. The first contact team descended carefully. Their drones landed first, scanning, sampling, broadcasting calm frequencies meant to soothe primitive minds. Some humans responded with awe, others with suspicion, a few with violence. A diplomat reached out, then recoiled when a soldier opened fire on one of the drones. Another tried to trade, a confused exchange involving gold, plastic cards, and something called cryptocurrency. One group fell to their knees, declaring the visitors gods. Another demanded proof of divinity. The Zanari did not understand this chaos. They had encountered aggression before, but never so inconsistently. No pattern, no logic, and then came the mistake. One of the landing pods released a containment mist, a standard precaution against unknown pathogens. It was mild, non-lethal, designed to neutralize any aggressive microbes that might cling to the explorers. But one human was caught in the spray. He coughed, staggered, then collapsed. The Zanari assumed he would die. Instead, something else happened. Within hours, his body began to change. His cells reacted violently to the foreign compound, not rejecting it, but adapting. The mist was supposed to sterilize. Instead, it triggered an accelerated mutation response. The virus embedded itself in his DNA, rewriting sequences at a pace unseen in any known organism. His immune system surged. His neural activity spiked. He woke up stronger, faster, different. Zanari scientists scrambled. This was not possible. Evolution took millennia. This was happening in real time. More disturbingly, the altered man didn't stay isolated. He spread the modified strain through touch, through breath. Others changed too. Not all survived. Many died screaming. But those who lived, they thrived. Panic spread among the Zanari crew. They initiated quarantine protocols, but it was already too late. The infection wasn't random anymore. It was evolving with purpose. The humans weren't just surviving exposure. They were adapting to it, weaponizing it. What started as a failed containment effort had become a biological catalyst. Back aboard the command vessel, the High Council reviewed the data. There was silence across the psychic link. Then came the order. Reclassify Earth's dominant species. Biological threat level, Omega. No declaration of war. No dramatic confrontation. Just a quiet realization. They had underestimated humanity. And now, the humans were changing into something even they didn't yet understand. They thought it would end with the first infection. A containment breach, a biological anomaly, nothing more. But the Zanari had not just released a virus into the human population. They had lit a fuse. Within days, the mutation spread beyond control. It was not a plague in the traditional sense. It did not kill indiscriminately. Instead, it tested. It adapted. Each host became a battlefield of evolution, and only the strongest emerged changed. Some gained heightened reflexes, others developed resistance to extreme temperatures, toxins, even radiation. One man in Shanghai survived a direct lightning strike. A child in Nairobi healed from a gunshot wound in under a minute. The virus wasn't just rewriting DNA, it was refining it. The Zanari attempted to isolate the infected, deploying drones to track and neutralize outbreaks. But the humans were no longer passive victims. They learned fast. Within 2 weeks, reports came in of coordinated attacks on alien reconnaissance units. Improvised weapons appeared, crude but effective. One group, in what was once Eastern Europe, used repurposed microwave emitters to disable drone sensors. Another in South America rigged up crude EMP devices using scavenge parts. These weren't military operations. They were improvisations born from desperation, and they worked. Then came the real threat: organization. A former lab technician, known only as Drake, became the focal point of the response. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't even a leader before this. But he understood the virus better than anyone. He studied the mutations, mapped the changes, and realized something terrifying. The virus wasn't random. It was responding to external stimuli, to trauma, to intent. He began experimenting on himself. What followed was unprecedented. Drake exposed himself to controlled doses of the virus, pushing his body to evolve in specific ways. Enhanced vision, increased stamina, faster neural processing. He didn't just survive the process, he mastered it. And he shared what he learned. Across the world, isolated pockets of survivors began to communicate, not through radio or satellites, but through biological signals. The virus had begun to act as a neural bridge, allowing limited telepathic exchange between hosts. It was chaotic at first, fragments of thoughts, bursts of emotion, but it grew stronger. Humans who had never met could now share strategies, coordinate attacks, warn each other of incoming threats. The Xenari tried to counter it. They deployed biochemical disruptors, hoping to sever the connection. It failed. The virus evolved again, adapting to the interference and shielding itself. It wasn't just surviving anymore. It was learning. Xenari Command received the report with growing dread. Human subjects are no longer passively adapting. They are directing their own evolution. Recommend immediate withdrawal. But it was too late for retreat. The first full-scale battle occurred in what was once northern Africa. A Xenari scouting force attempted to retrieve a viral sample from a research facility. They expected panicked civilians. What they found instead was an ambush. Dozens of altered humans, armed with scavenged tech and enhanced abilities, struck with precision. Some moved faster than Xenari sensors could track. Others resisted energy weapons entirely. One individual walked through a plasma barrage unharmed, his skin shimmering with an organic energy field. The Xenari lost half their unit. Back aboard the command vessel, the High Council convened an emergency session. For the first time in centuries, uncertainty filled their psychic link. They had encountered species that fought back, species that adapted, but never one that could rewrite its own biology in real time. One counselor spoke the words none wanted to acknowledge. We may have awakened something we cannot contain. The Xenari had studied minds. They had mapped thought patterns, decoded languages, and communicated across species without speech. But humanity defied them in ways they could not quantify. It was not just the mutations, the tactical adaptations, or even the biological evolution that unsettled them. It was something deeper, something they could not measure with scanners or predict with algorithms. It was the stories. Drake's broadcasts spread faster than the virus itself. Not just instructions or battle tactics, narratives. He spoke of survival, of defiance, of turning weakness into strength. He wove science into myth, presenting the mutation not as a curse, but as a gift, a weapon, a choice. And humans listened, not because they were ordered to, but because they believed. That belief became a force more dangerous than any engineered pathogen. Xenari analysts intercepted transmissions filled with symbols, chants, and anthems, none of which followed logical military doctrine. One faction called themselves the Children of the Spark, claiming the virus was divine fire meant to purify and empower. Another referred to Drake as the catalyst, painting his image on walls and weapons, turning him into something more than a man. Some believed the infection was destiny. Others saw it as justice. This was not resistance. This was religion, and it made humans unpredictable in ways no strategy could counter. Zanari scouts began reporting anomalies beyond biology. Units stationed near human settlements reported strange dreams. Not hallucinations, not implants, memories that did not belong to them, whispers in their minds, urging surrender, urging change. Some returned from missions, speaking broken fragments of human dialects, reciting lines from broadcasts they should not have understood. One entire squad abandoned its post after watching a single video, a montage of human defiance set to music that somehow resonated on a level deeper than language. Fear spread among the Zanari ranks. Not fear of death, but fear of transformation. Humans did not just fight to survive, they fought to become. And now, that desire was spreading. Psychological warfare was not new. Misinformation, deception, propaganda. These were tools used by many species. But humans wielded them like art. They turned truth into fiction and fiction into truth. One city under siege played recordings of Zanari voices declaring retreat, causing real units to hesitate. Another constructed elaborate illusions. Fake bases, false prisoners, decoy leaders, wasting time, resources, and morale. And then there was the final weapon, hope. Zanari logic dictated efficiency. Victory through superior technology, superior intelligence. But humans fought when they should have surrendered. They bled when they should have died. They kept going when all reason said to stop. It was not endurance, it was faith. In each other, in the future, in the idea that they could win, even when they couldn't. One captured human, questioned telepathically, gave an answer that shattered Zanari understanding. You don't get it, do you? We don't need to win. We just need to make you afraid of what we might become. That fear took root, slowly, quietly. The Zanari had always seen themselves as the superior intellects, the calm observers of lesser species. But these humans, broken, chaotic, emotional, had done something impossible. They had infected the mind. The final strike came without warning. A full-scale orbital bombardment. Zanari warships raining destruction down on the surface of Earth, targeting known infection zones, command hubs, and genetic hotspots. The message was clear. They would not risk containment failure. If humanity could rewrite its own biology under pressure, then the only solution was to remove the pressure entirely. But Earth was ready. Drake had seen it coming. Not through intelligence or strategy, but through feeling. The virus had evolved beyond mutation. It had become a network. Infected humans, scattered across continents, shared instincts now. A pulse of fear in one place became a warning in another. When the Zanari moved, so did humanity. And they did not run. Instead, they activated the last phase of their plan, a desperate gamble stitched together from science, myth, and sheer human stubbornness. Across the planet, bioengineered organisms bloomed like wildfire. Trees with crystalline bark absorbed energy from alien weapons. Fungi released spores that disrupted Zanari neural links. Entire cities became living fortresses, pulsing with bioluminescent veins that pulsed in time with a viral consciousness. The Zanari thought they were launching a sterilization strike. They were walking into a battlefield designed by something they couldn't comprehend, an evolving, thinking ecosystem fueled by human will. The first ship fell over New Delhi. A massive organic structure erupted from beneath the ruins of an old research facility, latching onto the hull with tendrils that burrowed like thoughts. Inside, the crew reported hallucinations, not illusions, but memories that weren't theirs. One pilot saw himself as a child again, crying in the dark, afraid of something he couldn't name. Another dreamed of Earth's oceans, vast and endless, calling him home. They lost control. The ship crashed. Other vessels fared no better. Some malfunctioned mid-strike. Others simply turned around. Entire squadrons broke formation, retreating without explanation. Zanari command scrambled for answers, but there were none. The enemy wasn't just fighting back, they were converting. In the heart of what was once Los Angeles, Drake stood atop a tower made of living metal and bone, watching the sky burn. He was no longer fully human. His body had become a vessel, a bridge between minds. He could feel them all. Millions of voices, thoughts, fears, hopes. He was not leading them anymore. He was them. He triggered the final sequence. A pulse, silent, invisible, rippled outward from the core of the planet. It was not a weapon. It was a signal, a declaration. Every infected human felt it. Every adapted mind synchronized. And every Zanari within range received a single, unspoken message. We are not your enemy. We are your future. Then Drake was gone. Not dead, transcended. Scans showed nothing left behind, not even ash. Just a faint glow where he once stood. The remaining Zanari ships withdrew. No surrender. No peace. Just silence. Years passed. The Zanari never returned. In galactic records, Earth was marked with a single classification. Restricted. Unpredictable. Evolving. And somewhere, deep within the bioluminescent forests of a changed world, life continued. Not as it was, but as it chose to be.